All right, out at the larger farm property now. My parents will be here in a little while. Just hanging out, doing a little bit of farm work today. Get the chickens done here. I sold out really fast at the farmer's market because I only had 2 dozen. This week I had all my regulars getting some really large quantities, which is great, honestly. If I was only selling my eggs at the farmer's market, I would be a little worried for what to do after the farmer's market. So it's nice I have a nice customer base outside of that. So that way I'm not just sitting on eggs either. I think I'll be plenty fine and not have a massive surplus every week. So I may order another batch of chickens. We'll see. I have the Australorps coming here in a little less than a month. So I'll have them up and ready for next spring, which is great. But once again, that's only, 25 more chickens or so. So I might go ahead and do one more batch. I'll probably do an actual Marin coop. So these, the darker ones are all kind of a mix of different Marins. And then a couple of those are the buff Marin mix. I don't know what they're gonna lay quite yet. I don't think they're laying yet. But we'll see. I'll probably get Marins. That'll be the next thing. I could have them here, in a couple weeks. But run some numbers on them. The chickens aren't really that profitable as far as egg production, at least on my quick math. But I'll have to take a closer look at it to see what it truly is. Hey now, did you just attack me? I know you didn't. You're gonna end up in a pot. You better not do that. I'm just trying to feed you. Anyways, yeah, so I might go ahead and get another batch of chicks here soon. Well, I already have the ones coming, but go ahead and order another batch. We will see. If not this fall, I'll get some next fall. But get these chickens done, fresh water, more food, grab eggs. My dad's up there mulching up some of those old hay bales. You can see them stacked along the barn there. I had a tarp over them. We built a wall. Bad storm blew through and completely soaked them. So I have been using some for bedding for the chickens. And I'm not a fan of it because it does stain the eggs for whatever reason. The hay does, the straw doesn't. And so yeah, we're just mulching it up at the moment because I don't know what else to do with it. Because it's starting to get a little moldy and gross. And yeah. It'll be good for the ground up there because it's really bare anyway, so get a little more organic matter going. The chickens have been eating really good lately. So besides what I typically do with their food, I put some probiotics, top dress it on there, and also all the reject tomatoes that didn't quite make the cut for the farmer's market, or just some that are gonna go bad because I don't have time to eat them all. The chickens get to eat him, so this one's actually kind of gross on the back side, so I don't think I'm getting rid of a great tomato there, even though it looks really nice. But anyway, the chickens love it, so they're eating really good. I find that the pearl whites and the buff Orpingtons are the best at eating scraps. The other two groups are okay, they're just not as excited about it. The speckled Sussex are really finicky. Americanas, they'll eat it. They're just not crazy like the others. Another reason I'm wanting to get those straw bales gone is because I'm having a farm party. I've been calling it a farm warming party. It's not really a house party or anything. There's been a lot of people that have been wanting to come out, see the place, just hang out. So that's happening toward the end of September, so I got to get this place a little more cleaned up than what it is. I mean, that's not terrible, but it's not great either. That, and then the inside of the barn's a bit of a mess, so I just like to organize that a little bit more. But for the most part, everything's pretty good. The garden could use a little bit of work, but nothing terrible. Go ahead and get the hose hooked up here so I can get the chickens watered. Just went and grabbed eggs for the last time today. I did a ton of garden work. I feel pretty good about what I did. Got everything watered, did a lot of weeding, and even did a little bit of work on the chicken coop. Funny story about that. So my dad has his work truck here, and he has a really small bit where I pre-drill through the piece of wood and the PVC that actually does the hoop part of it. So I went to the truck to go get that little bit, and my dad saw me, said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "Getting the drill bit." He said, "Oh, you don't need to use that." I said, "You're the one who even said to do that in the first place." He's like, "Oh, I didn't do it on the last one." I said, "I'm pretty sure we did." He said, "Well, you can do whatever you want, I guess, at this point," because I'd already opened the back of the truck up, but I hadn't looked inside the back of the truck. So I was just like, okay. Turned around, and in the back of the truck was my birthday present, so I kind of ruined that surprise. I guess my parents were going to try and hide it out here, but it didn't quite work out. My birthday's on September 9th, so a week from today, actually, which is crazy. But it's 2 barrel planters. They're awesome. I'm super excited to get those placed and get some flowers and grasses and just kind of doll the place up a little bit. So super excited for that. I just kind of stumbled across that present, just getting the drill bit. So I'm sorry about that, Mom and Dad, but that's pretty cool. So I'm really excited about that. Back there, I kind of started throwing, or my dad started throwing the bales back there. Probably just chop a few up here and there, just so it's not all spread out everywhere at once. But that's really nice to have away from the barn now. Well, it's getting close to 7 o'clock. Probably should get and start working on the YouTube video for this week. Last week, I had about an hour and a half videos and pictures to go through, slowly trimming it down and editing it to make it into what the video turned out to be. I think it was about 30 minutes. That's pretty typical though. I'll have double the amount of, stuff, and then about half of it makes the cut for the video. It's just a lot that goes on in a week. Good morning, y'all. Today is August 3rd. Last night I didn't get any further on ordering chicks. I just went a lot further down the rabbit hole of things. I went as far as me completely drawing up, designing how I would build a 20 by 64 foot hoop house. And then it led to a bunch of other things too. So it was a late night, and I feel like I did get some stuff accomplished. Definitely got some ideas going, which is good. Things I need to work on in the next month or so. Nothing set in stone yet, but I don't have a ton of time because winter's coming quick. But anyway, I have a ton of stuff to do. So I'm just gonna start in the garden, work there for a couple hours. After that, I'm gonna work on the chicken coop for a couple hours, do chores, see where I'm at that point, see what needs attention the most, and then go from there. Well, it took me a solid hour to get 1 row of tomatoes weeded and pruned up. So I've got 1 more row left on tomatoes at least. That's not including the peppers and probably around the horseradish a little bit. So not too terrible. Gonna take a little break. Luckily there's just a little bit of cloud cover out there, not much. Put some sun protection on today, so hopefully don't get super burnt, but I'm already feeling it. Out with the roosters here. I brought a couple gross tomatoes for them. See if they like them. I'm scared of them. I was going to do 4 roosters today, but one of the crates I used to transport chickens I left out at the larger farm property. So it looks like I'm only going to be able to do 2 today. Not the end of the world, but it would be nice to get these guys gone sooner than later. But anyway, today I'm going to get into the beehives first. I'm not doing anything special in the hives today. Literally just powdered sugar everywhere. Make sure everyone's looking all right. Just some maintenance. At this point, I don't think I'm going to get any honey. I could be surprised if I crack it open and see something, but I haven't really seen anything blooming that's that interesting for the bees. Goldenrod is what they typically go for in the fall. And there's not a ton out here or around here, to my knowledge at least. So I don't know, we'll see. We're gonna start off by getting the old smoker going. So for that mixed hive, I went ahead and took off the queen excluder. They're not doing anything with that honey super, so it's not worth even thinking I'm gonna get more honey. So there's a lot of nice comb up there, and I'd rather the queen get up there and start laying some babies. They lay some super powered bees to get all through winter. So I'd rather beef the hive up that way versus keep this on. These slats are just small enough where she can't fit through, but everybody else can. So anyways, that hive is good to go. Now let's check on the white hive, see what they're doing. Seeing a lot of nice yellow pollen coming in on both hives. And that pollen they're bringing in helps raise up more babies, because that's the protein and that's what they help feed them with. This hive is so full of bees that I can't even see through the slits. I did catch one little glimpse here, and you can see that it's not packed full of honey. That's the second frame in. So the middles could be full. Actually, there's a little glimpse. It looks like there's some honey in there. I mean, there's a chance I could still get it from this hive. Today I don't really want to tear everybody apart. I don't know, I might go ahead and hold out on this one for a little longer and make the call next week whether or not I remove that queen excluder. Bees are done. Gonna go ahead and grab a couple roosters, get them some more food and water, and be on my way. They didn't touch their tomatoes. Well, y'all, did a lot of laboring on Labor Day today. Feel like I got quite a bit accomplished. I could use another, couple days out here to just sun up, sun down, then I might feel like I'm caught up. My dad's doing some grass cutting. It always looks so much nicer when it's all cut. There's one strip here. It's not done, but that's because I was working on that row. I was doing some weeding, pruning, found a couple hornworms, they're in the jar. But also, my parents, those planters that I stumbled across the other day, they also bought me mums to go in them, and they look fantastic. I'll show you guys. Also did a lot of shop organizing, especially in this back part. There was just a massive pile of wood there. Got that organized, burnt some stuff up, got some more equipment lined up nice, got some more gravel in here. So definitely did some work in here today, just cleaning stuff up. Howdy y'all, today is September 5th. The chickens are all squawking like crazy out there, so I don't know what's up with that. Get the water on here. We'll go figure out what they're squawking about. Maybe a hawk flew over, came by close, or who knows. They were getting angry because there was a squirrel running around the other day, so they could be chirping for a number of things. Chickens, what is going on out here? Something scared the buffs and marins. They were all tucked back in the far corner and up on the roost. I don't know what it was. I don't see anything out here. They were all squawking, but the most commotion was coming from them. Looks like everybody else is fine, so I don't know. Howdy y'all, today is September 6th, hitting up the feed mill. It's been about 2 weeks again, so going through about 3 bags a week. Slowly getting rid of some roosters, so that should help. I counted today and I have 9 more to do. The sun's finally coming out a little bit today. It was really overcast. We actually got just a little bit of rain, which is great because it's really dry out here. The grass isn't growing as well as it used to. It's not completely dormant or anything, but it's definitely slowed up. So I'm hoping we get some more rain here soon. Just about time to move the chicken's net too. I've got today and maybe another half day before I gotta move it until that new rooster's down. I think he kind of freaks out on his own. Rusty doesn't really chase him and harass him like he used to. I think the other rooster is just, I don't know, paranoid about him now. So he jumps down, freaks out running around, and then just hops right back on the roost. But yeah, he's doing all right though. I still spoil him by giving him his own feed jar in there, water. He's up on the roost again right now. Also been reading through a couple good name ideas, so thanks for y'all on commenting on that. I'll reveal that probably the end of the week. Give everybody some time to write in on that. But anyways, gonna get the chickens done. These chickens eat even better than me. Completely organic. Got a nice tomato top in it. And now some probiotics. They are spoiled. So quick rundown of commercial feed, non-GMO feed versus organic feed. Commercial feed can be absolutely anything. It can be sprayed or genetically modified. Non-GMO feed is kind of the bridge between commercial and organic. So if it's non-GMO, it just means that it has not been genetically modified. But it can still be sprayed with pesticides. Organic means it cannot be sprayed with anything, also cannot be GMO. So those are kind of the differences there. Funny enough, I worked on a certified organic dairy farm for a long while. I'll just give you an example of why I don't always trust an organic label. You really just have to know the farmer or where your food comes from. So for example, this pasture behind me, organic seed. But let's say there's a shortage of it, but really need to get this field planted, but I'm a certified organic farm. So you can actually get away with planting only non-GMO seed. You just have to check that you've talked to 3 different seed suppliers. They say nope, don't have organic, and then the organic agency will give the organic farmer the okay to plant just a non-GMO crop. So is that okay? I mean, you've got to do what you got to do, but I feel like that's a bit of a loophole as well. So that's just one example of why I don't fully trust an organic label. If I'm at the store though, and I see, you know, just regular grapes versus organic grapes, I'm always going to buy the organic grapes. I'm not, you know, 100% food strict eating organic all the time. If I see Rice Krispie, I'm going to eat it. I don't care if it's organic or not. If I'm already eating junk food, it's just junk food, exactly what it is. So, but yeah, that's kind of the difference between feed and honestly just knowing your farmer and trusting the farmer as well. So I did notice the Americana's nesting box is kind of falling down a little bit. So I brought out a drill and a couple washers and screws. So I'm gonna see if I can do it from out here. You can see where it's kind of falling a little bit. Might have to get in the coop though. Alright, got that fixed. That was pretty simple. A couple screws, couple washers, and it is back up. That coop didn't quite get enough of the netting on the side to hold it really good with the staples, so it just started sagging, plus the chickens like piling in it, which doesn't help. So the screws and washers are what did for all the other coops. So that one just didn't get it, but it does now, so it shouldn't be falling down anymore. I'll probably just work in the garden for the next hour or so. And aren't these just awesome? So a big old thing of mums. They're starting to come out. It's gonna be gorgeous here in just a few days. Beautiful barrels. I absolutely love them. Thank you, Mom and Dad, for that present. And this is the second one. Put it by the entrance to the barn there. So beautiful. Love it. It is such a fine line on what to do with these massive tomatoes. It gets half ripe, but it's so heavy that it's kind of pulling and ripping it. Do you go ahead and pick it now and let it ripen? Give it a couple more days. Probably give it a couple more days. But this plant is massive. It's got a ton of huge tomatoes, easily a couple pounds. This one's a little smaller, kind of a more normal size one. It's coming along. All right, all 3 rows of tomatoes here have been pruned and weeded. That took a little while. Gonna go ahead and start working on the peppers. And all the weeding and pruning is done. That is a fantastic feeling. I do need to tie up some tomatoes, but other than that, garden's looking pretty good. I'll probably do a little bit of watering because I don't think we got much rain the other day, and it's been really dry. I don't know if I've mentioned or not, but I did order those chicks. I went with cuckoo marins, so they'll be here, or they're shipping on September 20th, and should have them a couple days after that. And then in October, I have the Australorps, so a lot of new life coming to the farm really soon. Howdy y'all, today is September 7th. Actually had a nice little rain shower. We really needed it. Yesterday I watered all the garden, the grass seed that was planted. Actually have some coming up. It was where the well was trenched into the barn. So there's some stuff growing there, but really thankful for the rain just for the pasture out here. That should help it spring up. It wasn't a lot, but we'll take anything at this point. So I need to move this net today. So that's gonna take quite a bit of time, and get the chickens done. Chickens are done, net is moved. It's actually starting to mist pretty good, so that was good timing. I do still need to take a hammer out there and pound in the ground rod for the solar charger, but other than that, they're good. Howdy y'all, today is September 8th. Got a little storm. It doesn't look like it's gonna turn into anything, but been getting ready for the farmer's market slowly. I just finished up with the yellow pears and gonna feed all the rejects to the chickens. They love eating all these tomatoes. I don't blame them. This is just one load of them, and they're not really bad. I mean, some are worse than others. They just got little splits in them. But instead of letting them go to waste, the chickens will eat them up just fine. It's sad that tomorrow is the last farmer's market of the year. It was a great season, ton of fun. It was my first farmer's market, so I learned a lot. It was pretty cool. So I was really happy to be a part of it, and I am looking forward to tomorrow. Got a nice floodlight up there. That'll be great, especially all those nights I was working out here in the garden, couldn't see anything. So that will be much appreciated. I have one on the back and it lights up really well, all the way out to the chicken coops and beyond even. Now I know I planted all butternut squash here, but they sure aren't looking like it. They're looking like little pumpkins, if anything. I've got quite a few of them that are not the typical butternut squash shape, but I do have a few that are more normal looking. I'm gonna kind of wait and see if some of them get bigger, but I feel like they're ripe already, so I don't know, kind of weird shaped. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and dig up a sprig of horseradish just to see what it looks like. At the very beginning of the farmer's market, I had a little piece of paper that said coming soon with a bunch of things on it, and the horseradish wasn't very soon. And I kind of feel bad not having that there since I did say it was gonna be there, but it actually should be harvested a little later, but we'll go ahead and see what one sprig looks like. I know some people were pretty interested in it. If you wait a little later in the season, you get more of it. So if you don't get a chance to get it at the farmer's market, you're welcome to come out to the farm here in the next month. I will have tons of it. See if there's even anything under here yet. There's a little root coming. It's pretty spindly, y'all. So they are pretty tiny. Those should be pretty big fat roots. When I dug these up originally and transplanted them over here from my parents' garden, I only took a couple small sprigs. So I didn't know how quick they'd take off or not. I bet my parents are doing pretty good on theirs because theirs is really well established and always has really big roots on it. But I think this just needs a little bit more time. So I'm sorry to everybody that was looking forward to it at the farmer's market, but doesn't look like it's gonna happen. It's just a little bit past 8 now. I think this is probably the earliest I've finished up with farmer's market prep, so that's a great feeling. I just gotta load everything up at this point. I think my mom still has a little bit that she has left to do. She has a ton of tomatoes. You can see them in the background there, or maybe not so much in the light, but she has a lot more to harvest, so that'll probably take a little while. Probably won't even have time to get it all done, but my tomatoes, cucumbers, squash, all that sort of stuff, peppers, those are all done. I am going to try out the spotlight that my dad just put up though. You'll know why I said spotlight instead of floodlight. These things are crazy. It's like daylight. It's amazing. You can see everything really well in the garden. Wish I had that up a little while back. That would have saved me a lot of time with a flashlight, but man, that is so nice. See how bright everything is? That's amazing. I can still see my shadow even pretty good. Really cool. Well, yeah, it's about 9:30. Now you can't see really well, but got the barn in the background for a little bit of direction on where we're at. But I'm in the garden right now, just looking for some more tomato hornworms because I saw some damage today, and the bucket is filling up. Here's what we've got so far, and that's only from 1.5 rows. That's pretty terrible. So there were several really good names for the rooster that is in the pearl white coop. Some people wrote comments on YouTube as well as just gave me some suggestions when I saw them or emailed me. But the one that really stood out to me was Red Rider. So that's what I'm gonna go with. Call him Red, double R for short, maybe. But I thought that was a pretty good name for him. So anyways, Red Rider is doing a little better. I don't feed him as much up top in the nesting boxes just so it does force him to get down and kind of get used to being in the mix. I think he's slowly getting better, but he's still a little scared of Rusty.